Welcome in, sports fans. We're on another episode here of the 2315 Sports Show. This is episode 3. A little different format this week. We're not going to be live on Fridays like we usually do due to some people being out of town. But we decided to record this a little early. We got a pretty good show lineup here. Looks like another football episode, but a lot of things happening in the football world, both college and pros. So we're going to try and go through this, give us your opinions, and I guess we'll just start with the college football national championship. I was so wrong in this game because I picked Washington to be the kind of powerhouse going up by, I was giving them 14. And I thought they were going to turn around, and they never did. My highlight of it was just Michigan was just too much. And I don't know if it was they were hanging with them for 3 quarters, and then it just got bad, got ugly quick. So I don't know if Michigan, like you said, they're pretty deep. They could just keep switching people out left and right. I don't know what it was, but I was horribly wrong, and you were right. So kudos to you on that.
Yeah. That's the physicality of them was just too
Mm-hmm.
much. I think they had Penix running for his life the whole game pretty much, and so he was struggling to get any kind of momentum going. And then you'd think they might here or there, whatever, and then they'd get down in the red zone and just get stuffed, and
Yeah,
it was a long day for that offense.
yeah,
And
it was
then
rough, very rough.
and in Michigan on offense, they won in the trenches.
Yeah,
I mean, you've seen it early. Edwards, 2 touches, 2 touchdown runs for like 80 yards. So they just more physical team, and
yeah.
it really wasn't even a game after the second quarter, basically midway through
No,
the
pretty
second.
much not. They that one, the running back was quick. That not Corum, but that other one. When he hit the gap, he was gone. Like
Yeah, yeah,
there was no one catching him.
one cut, dusting
Yeah,
them.
he'd
It
gone.
was
And I will say, I don't know if it was their plan or not, but Washington had their running back who was hurt,
yeah,
but they stayed with him. Like after a while, I'm like, okay, like you're kind of more hurting the team than helping
yeah,
at this point. Like, he had a first decent run, but he was limping right after. He went right off, and it's like, all right, you had your kind of moment. I think they had a true freshman or something come in, and he actually did all right the few times he got a chance, but I don't know why they kept him in. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
last
you
game
you
maybe.
yeah, you get it. You want to be able to
Sure.
help your team and try to get them, you know, to where you want to be. But at that point in time, you got to really look at it. And he did, like you said, he hurt the team more than he was
Yeah.
helping. So
I,
you've got to just take a step back and let somebody else help out when you know you can't.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So speaking of that, so Michigan wins convincingly.
Yeah,
Is it tainted because of the sign stealing? I think it's going to be viewed as it. I don't. It's hard for me to say. I'm not a huge fan of Michigan, but I don't know. I don't know if it's quote unquote tainted.
yeah,
Um, I will say there'll probably be a question mark beside it the rest of the way. I mean,
yeah.
everyone's gonna remember this, and
Oh
they're gonna
yeah,
be like, "Oh, they stole signs." Like that's
yeah.
gonna be what it
That's
is.
the Michigan haters are gonna
Mhm.
they're gonna look at it and be like, well, they didn't deserve that, but they proved that. I mean, what was it, the last 5 6 weeks or whatever, they did
Sure.
it, and it didn't
Mhm.
matter. And
No.
so I guess you look at it like, go back to Spygate.
Mhm.
What was that, 01 with the Patriots? The haters bring it up still,
Oh
but
yeah.
like, you really, it doesn't make a difference. But you're still going to have people that are like, oh, they
Oh
don't
yeah.
deserve that, even though you know the players went
They
out there
do.
and executed and dominated.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. A lot of people were saying, the Spygate, Deflategate, whatever you want, all the stuff obviously your Patriots were questioned about doing. And again, haters gonna hate, but
Right.
I do put Houston, the Astros, not to get on a tangent, they are in a different category to me.
Yeah.
That that is beyond that is cheating. Like, the Spygate and the sign stealing, I classify it more as you're using your technology. I mean, you might be abusing the technology you have instead
Yeah.
of, you know, and integrity is a big thing, but you're using what's given to you. Like Houston, they added things like,
Yeah.
the beepers and the vibrations on their like, and then the trash
And
can.
it's
Like,
a
come
and
on.
that's with baseball. It's 1v1 basically.
Yes, pretty
Pitcher
much.
versus batter. So
Yeah,
like if you know what's coming every
it's a
time,
whole lot
but like
easier.
there's 22 people on the football field.
Exactly. I think it's a lot different than that.
It is. It is.
A
So
lot
I mean
different.
I don't they had an advantage,
Hmm.
probably some Michigan
Sure.
did through those few games, but did it actually matter?
Probably
Probably
not.
not. Like 1% difference
Yeah.
with or without it. That's it.
Yeah. I agree. So with that, Michigan wins. Does Jim Harbaugh ride off into sunset and leave,
He's out.
or does he come back? He's
He's
going. He's
out.
going. Where's he
Yep.
going?
Well, I seen today where somebody from Michigan had said that money is not a driving factor in that he really wants to put the Lombardi in his trophy case
Okay.
because he's already lost one,
Mm-hmm.
to his brother. So
Yep.
get back there. Best fit for him, the obvious, it's the Chargers.
I agree.
You've got the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. Bad
Yep.
thing is your salary cap situation's really bad.
Yes.
Second, if he's going anywhere else, I think it's got to be. But I don't know. It's got to be probably
Yeah.
maybe Washington or now.
Mhm.
Didn't I mean with the latest news on Pete Carroll getting fired, maybe
Could
Seattle,
be.
but I don't see him really wanting to go to Seattle. So
Yeah. The only thing with Seattle is my thing is, so I think he's gone too. Um, he's built the program back up, so he's done what he wanted. Um, and I think the NCAA is gonna come down on him,
yeah,
so we might as well leave. And maybe it helps Michigan in the long run to where they don't get bans or anything like that. Um, I agree with the Chargers. The money is tough, but I wouldn't really mark out Seattle just because I don't think they'll bring back Geno. And if Jim Harbaugh leaves, I guarantee that McCarthy's going to leave. So maybe they work some magic and try and reunite
yeah,
them again in the pros. Um, and they have the wide receivers
yeah. Oh yeah,
with
they got a
Metcalf and Lockett.
uh, Lockett,
Um, decent run game,
JSN.
uh, decent defense, good crowd base. So I could see Seattle if you're willing to put some time in, and if you get your guy, which I could see that happening.
Yeah, second
Everyone
round
thought the
pick.
Bears, but it looks like they're keeping our
Yeah,
guy right now. And I kind of thank God for that. I don't want Harbaugh really. Um, so yeah, I think he's gone. Pros are calling. Um, and I would say Chargers or Seattle. I don't think the Titans is a good. It's not a
mm-mm.
good mix. Because they're going to lose a lot. I mean, Henry. I doubt Henry's coming back. So,
Yeah,
but that's for now. I mean, who knows
they're
what jobs are coming? Patriots, maybe?
yep.
Question mark.
Nah, doubt it.
Yeah,
It's either Belichick staying or Mike Vrabel's coming.
Vrabel.
That's
I,
that,
I
that's it.
that wouldn't be bad.
Only two options.
That wouldn't be
But
bad.
that's
I don't think.
no, I'd be okay with it. But I think with the Chargers, they would leave. They lack physicality,
Mhm.
and obviously that's what he's
He
brought to
brings it.
Michigan. So to bring it because they have all the talent on defense,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have the coaching for that. So bring in him. You've got Kellen Moore to run the offense, and you got Justin Herbert throwing the ball. Then you're in good shape.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I think I think that's the obvious. And if he gets there for an interview, whatever you've got to do, you like you're not leaving this building without a contract. I'll
Yep.
pay you whatever. My owner's wife take Jim's wife shopping in
Yep.
L.A.
Exactly.
Y'all go buy a house or something.
Yeah. Down Rodeo Drive or whatever. Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for sure. For sure. Um, yeah, I think he's gone. So I want to ask you. Okay. So the game really didn't matter to me. Like I didn't have a cheering interest. Obviously, you're going to watch it. You know, we're all sports fans. So the big news, the big rumor was for our age generation, probably the best game ever was coming back in
Yeah.
NCAA Football 25. Man, there was going to be a trailer. It was all hyped up. So, what my question is, do you think it was a scheme by the NCAA to get views for the championship game? Because they were worried. I think it was. I don't think
That
Now I don't think the NCAA like came out and said, "Oh, we're gonna tease this trailer." I would assume they paid someone to get that rumor started, and obviously it's gonna spread like wildfire because it's such a great game.
yeah.
Um, I, I really do. Conspiracy theory or not, but I could see that 100%. And you're not gonna say, "Oh, it'll be at halftime, it'll be at third quarter," because you want people to watch the whole game. So I guarantee there are some people out there watching the whole game, waiting for that trailer,
Just
and it
for the game.
never happened.
That's a good
See,
theory there. I didn't think
I'm
about
telling
that,
you,
but that's probably
that's business right there.
yeah.
That is
That's
business.
God.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Mind
But
blown.
yeah, that's probably it
That's exactly what it was.
because I mean that sooner or later they're gonna have to come out with it. So why not?
Sure,
But why not just say, oh yeah, right now we're gonna do that for
perfect time.
for the fact for views. Yeah, because there's
Perfect
no.
time.
I mean, obviously down south, huge college football. So they're like,
Hmm.
there's nobody in the SEC.
Right.
So ratings probably go down because there's
Hmm.
probably not a ton of Washington fans out there. And I
Mm.
mean, people like Michigan, but they want to see them lose. So
Right.
without the South on board, I think it was probably a little bit of a little ploy
I could
there. I
see it.
like that.
I could see it.
That's interesting there.
Yeah, I could see it. I thought of that when we were watching, and I was like, you know what? It's not going to show. Like
Yeah.
this was all a scheme by the NCAA for views.
Mm.
So
Yeah. So
so note, if we go missing because we called it out, you know who took us. The NCAA took us.
that's right.
Like
So give us our trailer
that's
now.
right. That's right. So that was crazy. I was kind of looking forward to it, but I didn't have big hopes for anything happening after like the first quarter, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
this isn't real.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what, about midway through the second. I was like, yeah, it's not coming.
it's not happening. No. Then I got to halftime, like, all right, here it is. Like, I'm gonna be
Golly.
shocked. Nope. And I'm like, it ain't happening. And I'm not. I wasn't staying up to watch the whole game anyway. So
Somebody fooled us big time.
yes, big time. Good job, NCAA.
Yep.
Kudos to you. Um, so we're filming on Wednesday. So big news drop this afternoon before we got on the air. Um, Nick Saban retiring. That's
Called it.
you did. You did. Again, kudos to you.
That's right.
It's kind it still strikes me as odd. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised because I think he just signed like a big extension and then we're done. So I saw a tweet and it was really funny before we got on here. It said he looked at Jalen Milrose and he said, "Son, I can't do this anymore," and just said, "I'm leaving." So
Yeah.
maybe that was it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of shocked. and now we're more interested in who's taking over because it's an easy job to fill, but a hard job to do. I think.
Yes,
I mean,
yes. There's
you're
gonna
going to be
be
scrutinized.
there's gonna be 100 suitors that were
Yes.
like, "Hey, interview me for this job." But I seen the other day, too, and somebody was interviewing. They were talking about Saban and how much he hates college football now, and he hates the
Hmm.
transfer portal. He hates the NIL deals, and it's not true college football anymore. And so that's I guess where all that kind of stemmed from,
That's
and
fair.
then just gets tired of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there will be plenty of applicants for that job, but
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it.
Nope. No way.
The expectations are
Yeah.
so high
You're
for that job.
you're
It's title or
you're
bust.
screwed. Yeah, you're screwed before you ever walk in the door. Like
Yeah,
unless you're a name that can handle it. I mean, there's a few that could still handle that. Um
yeah.
I don't know though. I mean, I could see this job pulling in some interest from the NFL coaches.
Well,
I mean, this is
that's
huge.
yeah. I seen obviously people speculating it's the number one coach for it was Dan Lanning, the head coach of
Yeah,
Oregon,
Oregon.
but
He'd
I
be
don't.
he'd be good.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin, of course.
Yep. That was
Steve
my number one.
Sarkeesian,
Mhm.
Texas coach, which he come from there anyway. And then
Bring
Bill
Arch Manning with
O'Brien,
him, probably.
that'd be crazy. Bill O'Brien
He's
from
already there,
uh,
right?
well,
As
he's the
offensive coordinator?
OC in New England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there because he was in New England, and then went with the head coach of the Texans back to
Mhm.
Alabama, back to New England.
Back to
So,
New England.
but yeah, to get him back. But I seen one earlier, and I know it was probably a joke because I don't think he has the patience for it. But Saban's real good friends with Belichick,
Well,
and
that's what
they were like,
that'd
we'll
be
get Belichick
interesting.
down here to Alabama, but I
He don't
I
have
don't think
that.
he wants to deal with
No.
kids.
No. No, he's past that age.
Yeah.
I mean, the pay will be there,
Oh
but,
yeah.
um,
It'll be the highest. Whoever gets it will be the highest paid coach in college football.
yeah. I mean, a lot of them were teasing, like, Dabo Sweeney coming over.
Ooh.
Um, people like that or, what's the guy from Florida State? Norvell,
Yeah.
one of the 2.
What about Prime?
Um, that's I don't think Alabama will do that. Um, I think I mean, he's good. He's a great coach, obviously. I mean, he kind of fell off at the end of the year, but I don't know if they want all the quote unquote drama associated with him.
No chance they
Um,
do.
no.
They would be
Um,
the biggest entertainment,
oh,
like the amount of money you would get brought in just for
hmm,
pure entertainment. Him, Shooter, Travis
yeah,
Hunter,
that'd be insane.
like yeah,
That would be insane.
it would be. But
Um,
I think he's there for at least one more year till he takes a
till he,
skip and a leap to the NFL.
yeah, yeah, I think, or it could be this year. Who knows? I don't
Yeah,
think so though, because his son's still there.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I mean, I could see the USC coach doing this because he did it to where was he?
oh,
Nebraska. Um,
what the heck? I just went blank on his name. Riley.
Lincoln Riley,
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Sorry, not Nebraska. Um, I could see him doing that 100%.
Well,
Williams is gone.
maybe like Cliff Kingsbury because he was
Yeah,
there in
coming.
college and he went to Cardinals, but he
Hmm.
hasn't been coaching for a couple years. Maybe something for him to
Hmm.
try to come. He'd probably be interested in it, but
Sure, but like you said, there'll be thousands of people, thousands.
my
Um,
money's on Lane Kiffin.
I would see that too. And actually, that wouldn't be a bad fit. Um, because he's not a huge NIL guy either. Although they
Yeah,
spend it, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, that's a big deal. Um, pretty much probably the greatest coach of college football ever. So it's a big deal. Um, but with that, so that kind of wraps up the NCAA, college football season.
Yeah.
It was a good season. It's interesting to watch. Um, moving ahead, we do have the playoffs of the NFL here this weekend, wild card weekend. Um, I was off a little bit in my wild card picks. Very disappointed that the Bears couldn't get it done, but we won't go down that path. They so overall, I mean, I think there's some good matchups. It's like you said, all the rivals are happening. Like, is the NFL scripted? Possibly for that. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Um, so I don't think. I mean, nothing changes in my play. I don't think anything would change in my playoff picks. For sure, the Super Bowl because nothing. I mean, nothing really changes there. But um, I could say a shock factor is going to be on the NFC side,
Okay. Let
and
me hear it.
I don't know if it's a shock their first game, but I think they can make some noise after that too, and it's the Rams.
Yes.
Rams are kind of under the radar. I think they can beat Detroit. I think there'll be some kind of something behind it to for Stafford to beat Detroit. Even though I mean they left on I think good turn, like there was nothing wrong with it, but it's going home to kind of silence that crowd, so that'd be kind of funny and cool.
Yeah. And he's
Um,
got all the experience, which
mhm,
Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl before
sure,
too. But
yeah,
the Rams, but nobody else on that line team really has the experience
mm-mm.
besides on the defensive end, CJ Gardner. But that's it. And the
Yeah, and
Rams,
he just came back.
and their whole team has experience because they just what 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah,
something like that,
3,
won a
I
Super
think.
Bowl. So 2 years ago, yeah. So they've got the experience. So that could be a really good, fun matchup to watch.
I wouldn't I, if if Mayfield's healthy, I wouldn't rule out the Bucks the way the Eagles are playing either, because
Hey,
Eagles are sketchy.
Baker Mayfield, he's a dog.
He is.
And
So is
then
Mike
that whole
Evans.
team, like you said, like you said last week, full of experience as well. All
Yes.
kinds of playoff experience the last few years. All most of that defense won a Super Bowl with the team. They're young on the edge, but other than that, they could go out there. Mike
Hmm.
Evans, Chris Godwin, make some noise, catch a few big passes on the Eagles and pull the upset. Even though they're
I
4 over the 5, it's still a
right.
upset. So
Yeah, huge upset. I don't think Green Bay has a chance.
the
I mean, I think
the
their luck runs out now.
yeah, their only chance, I give them like a 5% chance
Yeah.
because their only chance is Jair Alexander gets out of his head, locks up
Hmm.
CD Lamb,
Could.
and Jordan Love plays a perfect game. If he
Yeah.
if he can be 70% completion, no turnovers, and CDs at like 50 yards and no touchdowns,
They got a
we're
chance.
talking a ball game.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
I
so.
don't I don't think so either.
I think Jordan
But
Love's going to be hit a lot.
we'll see. Yes,
A
yes. But we'll
lot.
see. Hopefully it'll be. I don't want to see any blowouts, but there's always at least one upset in
Hmm.
wild card weekend. So it'll be it'll be good to see on this side. But the Rams on the NFC, I think it might be the Rams over the Lions. As much as I hate to say it,
Yeah. I don't know if there's an upset on the AFC side. Um, I I was looking and I don't. I mean, do you consider what is it, the Dolphins over the
yeah.
Chiefs an upset? Like
Dolphins are the
I don't.
6, Chiefs are the
Yeah.
3.
I mean, technically in those terms, yes,
Yeah,
but Dolphins have been a better team all year. I mean, I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, so that one to me, I'm picking the Dolphins. I know it's going to be like -9 there with the wind chill. Um, but I'm
That's what
still
makes it
picking them.
hard. That's what makes it hard with being cold. But you look at it, the Chiefs don't put up a lot of points.
Mm-mm.
Period.
No,
But the
and Miami
Dolphins,
can
like
run.
the Dolphins are great in the first half. Two is
Yep.
great in the first half, but when it comes to the second half, they fall apart. And so
Hmm.
I think it's kind of the same way with the Dolphins as it is the Bucks. Two is going to have to play perfect. He's
Yeah.
going to have a perfect game to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
Tyreek's going to be he's going to be juiced
Amped.
up for this
Hmm.
game, and he's I hope he has a big game. That one's going to be
Yeah.
fun to watch too.
He's
But I
dropping.
don't.
He's dropping 200 yards on him.
I'm on a 50-50 on that one. I'm gonna take a scale back on my pick and go 50-50
Yeah.
because I'm just not sure.
Okay. Okay.
But and then you
As
get
far
the
as those,
Texans.
I'm
Yeah.
taking them.
Oh yeah. Which
I'm riding with the
blew
Texans.
blew my mind because the Jaguars just absolutely shit the bed
Yes.
and
Yeah.
lost 5 games in a row or 5 out of the last 6 to drop out
Yeah.
of the playoffs.
Horrible.
They had a legitimate shot as the number 1 seed at
Hmm.
like week 10, and then
Yeah, and
they
then
blew it.
crashed.
But so yeah, Texans. I don't know. I like the Browns. Their defense is tough,
Yeah, number
and
one,
they're
I think.
gonna rattle C.J. Stroud with it
Hmm.
being his first playoff game. So I'm gonna pick the Browns over the Texans on
Taking
that one.
Flacco.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
been there. He's done it.
Joe
And that
Cool.
defense. Um, so yeah, I mean, it should be a good weekend for football. Again, not too many. Again, it's kind of for me the Rams and the Dolphins, if you want to call that an upset, would be the upsets that I'm going to take. I hate to say it because I like Detroit.
Yeah,
I like the way they're playing. I like their coach, but I don't know. The Rams are playing very well, like, and they're under the radar for a lot of people. So
yeah.
I kind of like it.
It's tough. I like you said. I like the Lions and I like the way they're playing. They're young,
Mhm. Yes,
but
but that's the
golf's
problem.
but golf's not. So like you can't
Right.
be like, okay, 2 more years and definite Super Bowl contenders. But then at that time, golf's what 33, 34 years old, and is
Yeah.
is you know is he out of it, and is he holding the team back, and you're at that point. So I think they're kind of like in win now mode this year, next
Hmm.
year. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with the Lions over the Rams.
Okay.
Um, just because I like the Lions,
Yeah.
not because I
I do
think
too.
they're the better team. But
I mean, they were my pick to really shock that whole side, but I don't
yeah,
know. The Rams could be that pick. I don't know. They could go. They
yeah,
could go nuts.
yeah. They got Kyron Williams, who is absolutely
Hmm.
blown up too. So it's
And
gonna
Stafford's been
be
there, done it. I mean, he's battle tested. So
got that dog in him.
that's right. Um, so both of our teams are out of the playoffs. Never even a shot at it. Well, actually, the Bears at one point did have a slight chance.
A smidgen.
So that brings up a lot of coaching questions. I know that's a popular question up there in New England. That are we getting rid of Belichick? Are we not? Who knows? Now with the recent firing of Vrabel, that might be a little more imminent than people realize. I know the Bears just got rid of their OC today, and their quarterbacks coach. Which, looking at it, I didn't even know we had a quarterbacks coach. To tell you the truth, the past how many years? So a lot of coaches getting let go. Pete Carroll today. Um, that was interesting, but it looks like he's going to do something else with the team. I think it said. Um, who else am I missing? Titans,
Ron
Seattle,
Rivera,
Ron Rivera for the
for the
yeah. That was kind of
Commanders,
that
and
should
then
have been last year, honestly, or this
yeah,
year, less
yeah,
past year.
and then of course the Panthers, the
Mhm.
Raiders,
Yep, a lot of
um,
jobs, a lot of
yeah,
jobs.
which the Raiders I think are just gonna
I
hire
hope so.
the interim
Antonio
AP to
Pierce.
get him back. Yeah,
Yeah, he's he looks like a cool guy to play for sure.
yeah, and the players love him. So
Yes, yeah. So that'll be interesting. I don't know. I mean, Vrabel's the only one I could see going to the Patriots. All the rest of them, I think, they're done. I mean, Ron Rivera's done.
yeah,
Um,
he might get a coordinator job somewhere, but
I don't think.
he's not a
I think he'll just be done.
probably.
Um, the Bears. I mean, the OC there, he's not going anywhere new. I don't think. Um, I don't know. So not much. Pete Carroll, I would say, would be the only one if he were to leave, could go somewhere else because he's a kind of a quote
Yeah,
unquote legendary coach in itself. But not too
that's who the
much.
Bears need.
Pete Carroll
Yeah,
be all right with it. He's a little old, but I mean he won't be around for probably 3 more years. But
he said he's still got the
just
juice and
coaching
the
wise,
fire in him.
oh yeah, he can run down the sideline probably better than me and you can.
Oh
So
yeah,
I wouldn't doubt that from him. But um, yeah, I don't know. They're gonna keep our coach, so I don't know what that means for Fields and all that. But I guess we'll see.
yeah,
Um, so speaking of that, with the Bears having pretty much I don't know, maybe an average season in their regard, 7-9.
hey,
It
yeah.
wasn't as bad
7
as what
wins is
we thought. Um, they still get that number one pick from their, to me, probably one of the best trades the Bears or an NFL franchise has ever done.
yeah,
Um, Trading last year's first, getting a number one wide receiver who had a career year, and still getting this year's first round pick, plus some others. Is pretty legendary. Plus, I think we have the 9. We ended up with 2.
yep,
So 2 picks in the top 10. After us, Commanders maybe,
yep. Commanders got the 2.
and then Patriots.
Yep,
So um, for me, the Bears. I'm gonna believe they're keeping Fields. Just there's been some. They interviewed DJ Moore. I saw on Twitter, and he was kind of smiling and like he knew. So to me, if he were
yeah,
getting rid of Fields, he wouldn't be smiling. Um,
yeah.
and so to me, uh, obviously they're going to do one of two things. They're keeping Fields, and they're trading down the first pick, which is probably more likely, to maybe like 4 or 5, maybe try that route. Um, or they just shock the whole world and just take Marvin Harrison Jr. first. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll try and get a little capital from it, maybe like I said, 4 or 5, and then a couple seconds somewhere down the line, because that's what Poles kind of seems he likes to do. Um, and then take Harrison there if you can, because I know Arizona's probably looking at him at 4, I think. 5, I can't remember. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna believe they're keeping Fields, and they're gonna trade the number one pick again for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Commanders, they're
that's
gonna take Caleb Williams for sure.
okay.
Um, and then the Patriots, I think. Okay, so if Belichick stays, you're not getting that pick. I don't know what to tell you. Like, never does, never will again. Mac Jones was a flop, so he's never doing that again. So he either trades it away for sure. Maybe later in the first round. I don't know as he's going to trade it to go down to the second round, but I think wherever he trades it, I think he's going to take Bo Nix. I think that's the one he's going to
Okay.
get. I don't think he'll take Penix because he didn't show well in the last game. Plus, he has injuries. I think, and Bo Nix is I think, underrated. He's been in college forever, and so he's smart. So Belichick knows that, and I think
Yeah.
that's who they'd take wherever Bo Nix is projected to go. I think the Patriots take him and move on from the
Okay.
Mac Jones era for sure.
Thank God. Well, that's that's so you got Cardinals 4, Chargers 5, Giants 6. So like even in the top 11 picks outside of Washington and New England, the only teams that need a quarterback are Atlanta at 8 and possibly the Giants at 6. Um, so I think if Carolina's going to trade down, or not Carolina, if the Bears are going to trade down, I think they're going to have to trade with New England, unless
That
some
could be.
like I said 6 or 8, unless they're going to give up a fortune for it. But if you do that, you're not looking at Marvin Harrison at
No,
6.
no, he won't be there.
So if you want to keep Marvin Harrison, you've got to. New England's the only flop really because he's going to Arizona if he's there at
Yeah,
4.
yeah,
So I think they either stay at 1 and pick Marvin Harrison, because I saw where
that's
like
what I would
that
do.
interview with DJ Moore, he was like
Yep,
we traded down once, and he said it worked out really well.
right.
So I think they I think they keep it, pick Marvin Harrison. Unfortunately, they keep it because I want the Patriots to be able to trade up with 1 and get Caleb Williams, because I'm not super high on Drake May.
No,
So Washington will pick Caleb Williams. But then at that point, I think the Patriots could trade down to 6
mhm.
or something and get Jaden Daniels,
Yeah, I don't know. I
because I
mean,
think I like
you like him?
Jaden Daniels. He's dynamic. He can make. I don't know. It's tough. The
Yeah,
only one
I
that I'm
get it.
just like the only one I say I'm surefire on is Caleb Williams, but watch him be the biggest bust out of all of them.
See, I'm I'm under the understanding he's gonna be the biggest bust. Like, I just think, and it's not gonna be talent biggest bust. It's gonna be attitude biggest bust.
Yeah, be the
Because
mentals.
yes, because I don't know, like, he's everyone's saying, oh, his upside's great, his upside's great, and all this, and I'm like, you'd have shown that in college. He has some dynamic stuff. I watched the
Yeah,
highlight of it, and I said, man, if I liked him, I wouldn't mind the Bears picking him, but I don't like him. And in that whole highlight, I don't think there's a single thing that he did that Justin Fields can't do. Like,
yeah.
he can move. Fields can move. Fields can probably move better than him.
Oh yeah,
Um, Caleb Williams can probably throw a little better than Fields. Um, but all the highlight, I mean, everything he's done, we've seen it. So if I'm the Bears, I'm believing in Fields. Like, you keep the coach, keep the quarterback, and go get a good offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, or one in the same, whatever you want to do.
yeah,
Um, I did see somewhere. I think there's a guy in Miami, their offensive coordinator. He's worked with, and I read it, and he's worked with Brett Favre. He's worked with Tua, obviously. He's worked with all these other guys. Like, he's kind of a quarterbacks guy. So maybe you get them, keep Fields, see what he does, and then figure it out from there. Because I'm not a huge Caleb Williams fan. I'm not sold on Drake May. I was a big Penix guy. Like, I would have bet the house on it, but I, I don't know. I don't know if it was just a bad game at a bad time. Um, and then Bo Nix is kind of underrated. Like, he had a heck of a year, and he's had heck of
yeah.
years the past 2 or 3 years. So I wouldn't mind him either, but I'm not taking him first.
That's what I
So
like. I like Bo Nix. My only issue with him is when he was at Auburn,
true.
he against good
Mm-hmm.
NFL talent, basically, he
Oh yeah,
wasn't great.
yeah.
But then he goes to Oregon, where Oregon's known to make quarterbacks look great,
Mm-hmm.
and he throws a lot of short and check
Mm-hmm.
down passes. Doesn't push the ball downfield very well. So it'd be interesting to see how he does in the NFL, which he may surprise me, but I think he's
Sure.
more of a
Second and third
lower,
rounder.
yeah, a lower end guy. But it's either going to go Marvin Harrison 1, Caleb Williams 2, Patriots trade back,
Yep.
or it's going to go Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. One of
Could
the two.
very well could.
I don't know. I could be surprised. Marvin Harrison could go to the Patriots. Who knows?
That'd be all right for you. I mean, I
it'll
say if
be
they don't get Marvin Harrison, to me the Bears need to go out and get like a T Higgins, like someone else. If they're keeping Fields,
yeah,
go get someone else. So now you're stacked. Now, if it doesn't work, it's him. Like
yeah. Then
I
there's
believe that
no
now.
room.
If it doesn't work this next year, like even if you don't add anything, it's him because he does have the talent. I
You
mean,
should be winning 10
e-
games next year.
exactly. You should be in competition for the title, the NFC North. Like
Yeah,
you should. Um, so we'll see. That's what 3 months away. So a lot of
yeah,
things can happen.
yeah.
Um,
105 days.
not like anyone's counting, right?
That's right. I'm looking
So
forward to it.
that's pretty much it. Again, we're not live Friday. Sorry about that, but that's okay. We got the content out. We kind of got a plan during the week. It's kind of chaotic, but we got it planned out. We're gonna push out an episode Friday afternoon sometime probably. Um, so it was a good show. Enjoy it. Next week, I think we're actually looking at basketball next week. So it should be fun. We both enjoy basketball. Um, Coming up on that time of month or year for big college basketball to come our way. So expect a big show on that as well. So pretty excited. So why don't you hit him with that outro?
Sounds good. All right, guys, and that's going to do it for today's episode. We want to thank everyone for tuning in, however and wherever you may be listening. Subscribe and follow YouTube, Twitter, Apple Pod, or Spotify at 2315 Sports Show. Join us next week for another episode.